This video is going to cover simple percent calculations. We're going to use the fact that an amount calculated is the percent of some base amount, which is most often represented with the formula A equals P times B. And that's showing the relationship between a calculated amount, a percent, and a base. To remember that, the A is representing an amount. The equal sign we will often see corresponding to the word is. P is for percent, and that multiplication symbol we'll often see corresponding to the word of, and B is representing base. So again, we'll use this to determine a calculated amount that is some percent of a base. The first question we're going to look at says, what is 40% of 125? So where we see what, I have some unknown. Is, I'm going to use an equal sign to show that two things are equal. And then 40% of 125. I'm going to rewrite that 40% using a decimal, which will be 0.40. And then of 125, I'm going to multiply that by 125. So what I'll get there is that A equals 0.40 times 125, which is 50. So in summary, 50 is 40% of 125. The next one we're going to look at is going to look for percent, and it says 60 is what percent of 25? Now, before we start, 60 is more than 25. So we know intuitively before we even start that we should get more than 100%. So let's set this up. 60, I'm going to write that down, I'm going to replace that with an equal sign. This percent is unknown. I'm going to put P, and of 25, I'm going to then multiply by 25. Solving this for P, I'm going to get 60 over 25. And then converting that, when I take 60 and I divide it by 25, I'm going to get 2.4. So P equals 2.4. I need that in context. Remembering that P is representing percent, if I turn 2.4 into a percent, it's going to be 240%. So I'll rewrite P as 240%. And now when I summarize, I can say that 60 is 240% of 25. In this last example, I'm going to look for a base amount. It's asking 25 is 70% of what number? So turning that into an equation that I can work with, 25 equals, so 25 is, I'm writing down 25 equals, I know the percentage, that's 70%. Since I'm working with a calculation, I'm going to put it into decimal form of 0.70. Then it says of what number, so I'm going to multiply by some unknown base amount. To figure out this base amount, I can see that I have a simple linear equation of 25 equals 0.70 times b. To solve for b, I'll divide each side by 0.70. So 25 over 0.70 will equal b. Simplifying that calculation, if I put it into a calculator, I'll get 33 with 0.3 repeating. So I could also think of that then as 33 and 1/3. And if I work through the fractions, I'd get the same thing. So both of those are exact, 33.3 with the bar over the 3 showing it's repeating, or 33 and 1/3. So to summarize that, I'll state 25 is 70% of 33 and 1/3.